Before we finish the video, there's a thing like video. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Hello you crazy awesome dancers, welcome to another salsa lesson. Remember that we already did and we already showed you the fundamentals or some of the fundamental techniques in salsa. Check the video. And in this video we are not going to cover them again, we are just going to focus on the leading and following, and we are going to talk a little bit about the partner work. We already have over 200 lessons on our channel, check them out, playlist in the corner, so if you don't want to miss whenever we add a new lesson, subscribe. Also, before we start, as always, we want to thank our patrons for their continuous support. That being said, let's get to work. We are talking about Salsa 1-1, so whenever you want to dance Salsa 1-1, leaders always go forward on one with your left leg, like this, 1.
Followers, of course, we go with our right leg backward. 1,
2, 3. But whenever we dance solo or we do our shines, there's a general rule that both of us should dance on one with our left on 1.
Of course, nowadays, us ladies, we can choose when we do our shines if we dance with our left leg forward or with our right leg backward.
This is especially true in socials because there aren't strict rules when you're social dancing, you just want to have fun. Now let's talk about the actual partner work. Mainly in the beginning we have 2 grips. The most common grip like this, we're gonna talk about it in a second, and the more close one like this. As we said, we are not going to cover all the fundamentals, the posture, the knees, how to step, how to do your pose, etc, etc, etc. You already have the video there. Now we are going to focus on the leading and following. First, we must talk about the tension, and creating tension is a simple concept, but you will see that it's particularly difficult in practice. The idea is opposite forces. So whenever I pull
also,
and whenever I push,
I also push.
So that way we create 2 opposite forces and we create that tension. This tension must be, of course, balanced. I won't like pull too much or like push too much or fight with these forces. We must create a balance between us, and with practice, of course, it's the leader's job. We must adapt to our followers, but we must not be brutal but firm. Okay, and girls, be like really focused and attentive, be reactive to what your leader is doing. An awesome exercise is just as we shown you, laying back, okay, and of course if you want you can switch the grip a little bit for these 2, like doing push-ups here and create some tension to understand the concept. The first grip that we are going to use is the most simple one. Guys, it's like we're requesting the hands of the follower and we are not using our thumbs, we are not going to press. Just keep them like you're walking on the street, a normal grip, or if you want you can just tuck them away like this, but it will feel a little bit weird, dance like this. Just dance normal, have the tips of your fingers creating the contact, not your whole hand. Don't squeeze, don't squish, don't, I don't know, create unnecessary force where you don't have to create it.
For the ladies, we just give our palms to the leader and we have a slight bend in our wrist. Our wrist should go down. Also, we work with the tip of our fingers. We also do not squeeze, don't hold the guy's hand because it's not necessary.
And a professional tip, if you want, guys, use these 2 fingers. They are magical. So whenever we are dancing, we actually create tension with these 2 fingers. And we dance like this because it helps us whenever we have to do turns, carisas. It's much easier to control. We have more agility and control rather than the whole hand. It's easier to turn, to rotate 2 fingers rather than your whole hand. And it's important to understand that even if I have my entire hand here, I create tensions with these 2. I'm not dancing like this. Rock on. Yeah, or you might find the pistol grip or something like that, like this. It's totally unnecessary. It's a good practice in the beginning to understand it, but don't dance like this, like you're shooting everywhere, or you're like, ah. Just have a natural grip and use these two fingers. We have covered the basic grip. Let's talk about leading and following. Leaders, whenever we want to lead something, we need to have an intention. That means that our body, mostly, for you to understand easier, our upper body is going to do something before our lower body does. And we are going to use the breathing technique, the breath, as an example. Of course, we are going to exaggerate it for you to see it better, but it will be easier to understand. So I will begin to pull a little bit, and also Elena will also pull to create that tension. And it will be easier if you do this as an exercise through your breathing. So whenever I breathe in, I create tension, I pull towards me. So it's going to be like, you see, we went a little bit towards each other. And when I exhale, I am going to push 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Of course, we are not going to hyperventilate. We are not going to do like on each step. It's the idea of creating that momentum and pushing just before you step. As an exaggeration, like this. Here I begin pushing and I step only afterwards, but done in a sequential order and really fast, you won't feel like two separate moves. So that's the intention. The body dictates what the steps are going to do.
As a follower, you just need to react at the leader's intention with the same energy and the same tension.
Whenever we're dancing, it's important for us to lead, to have an intention in the movement so our follower understands what we're going to do, and for the followers to react, not fight us like ah. We go like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Guys, remember to not use your thumbs, don't squeeze, don't hurt your follower, especially here, it's a very sensitive area and it's going to hurt. Remember, you are not leading with your fingers, you're leading with your body, your arms are only an extension of your body's intention. My God, how logical and fluid that was.
For the followers, as a general rule, we don't let our arms, our elbows to go behind our body line. We just imagine that we have a wall behind our back.
This will help us with creating that tension and leading the body and not your hands. We call this like spaghetti hands because when we push you, do this with your hands, arms, followers, and it's really hard for us as leaders to lead you. When you create a little bit of that tension and you imagine that wall, it's really easy to lead you into especially your basic. Let's put everything together in a basic step. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. A pro tip, especially for you followers, in time and with a lot of practice, you will feel that tension, that connection with your partner all throughout the moves, your steps, and your entire dance. For example, here there are many points in which I lead and she follows, but we are not going to explain them in detail because they will be natural with practice. Here I push, I begin to pull, I pull, I break a little bit because we have that pause, then I accelerate again, I switch the direction, I push and I break, and I do this almost constantly. But because we create that tension and that connection between us, we can stop at a moment's notice, we can resume dancing, we can stop, we can do stuff like this, like micro stops or like isolations, because we practice this connection, this tension, and these grips. So don't worry about it, take the general idea, create that intention, push and pull, practice it a lot, and you will become a better follower and a better leader in no time. That being said, let's talk about the second position, the closer position. We generally use this, for example, when we want a little bit more connection because we have access straight to the body, or whenever, for example, in social, there's a lot of people around us and we don't have space, or in some specific moves or combination in which we need this position. For the leaders, I'm going to give you 3 tips to create this position. The first one is going to be about the right hand. Go on the shoulder blade, but not like on the back, not towards the spine, but rather towards the edge of the body, of the shoulder blade. Here, round a little bit your grip here, and your elbow to be up, not up as in comfortable for me, up as in, let's say, almost a straight line for your follower. This means that you have to adapt to your follower's height. For example, if she's smaller, I will have my hand smaller, or if she's taller, it's gonna be a little bit more comfortable, my hand being up. The second tip is going to be about the left hand. Just embrace your partner's hand, close your grip a little bit, don't force it, don't squeeze it, just have a natural closure. And the last tip, it's about the elbows. We're not going to stay like this, like in ballroom. We are going to have our elbows a little bit closer as a natural hold. We're going to dance like this. We're not going to dance like this, like this. And of course, I also adapt my left hand to my follower's height. I'm not going to hold her like this, especially if she's smaller, yeah, or you could, there are some couples that dance like this. It's not bad. You can adapt with experience, and when you become better, you can adapt everything. But at first, try to take as a general rule the level of her eyes. So your grip matches the level of your follower's height. This will ensure that it's comfortable for her also.
And now 3 tips for the followers. First, our left arm will be on the back of the leader's shoulder. Don't put it on top, on the back of his shoulder. If you are smaller, you can go on the back of his arm, but never on top. Doing this, we won't leave our weight on the leader's body, arm. And this has to do with the second tip. Never leave your weight with your arm on the leader's body. Of course, this applies for our right hand also. We have this position, we don't leave our weight down, we are not pushing, we are not pulling. This hand should be between us.
Also, let's put everything together for the closer position. 5, 6, 7, intention, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Again, as a pro tip, you might have seen already that we are not staying with our hands fixed. We're not isolating and only moving our legs, sorry. We are moving naturally also our hands. Of course, this could be taught in another lesson, like the dissociation or the synchronization, what's called the coordination of the hands, body to the feet. But as a general rule, try just to let your body dance a little bit. Let it move naturally. Don't block it. Before we end the video, let's do it one more time on music, showing you the normal position and the closer position. We can also do it with only one hand. The same principle applies. That's it for today. Hope you like this video. Hope it helps you. If you're a beginner, for sure it will help you. If you're an intermediate or more advanced level, let us know in the comment section down below. What would you like to see regarding the techniques? Because moves, we have plenty. That being said, subscribe, like, share it with your friends, and see you in the next video.